We're live from New Delhi, watching DT India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next hour. Israel and Hamas reach ceasefire deal to end 15 months of conflict. Complete implementation to begin on 19 January. 33 hostages to be released in the first phase. Netanyahu thanks Biden and Trump for cooperation, while Trump claims credit as moving force. Biden lauds his diplomacy behind the deal. World leaders welcome hostage ceasefire deal, express hope it will endure. Biden delivers farewell address, capping a 5-decade political career, assures peaceful transition of power to Trump. Visiting Singapore President Tharman Shanmugaratnam to meet his Indian counterpart in Delhi will also meet Prime Minister Modi. And on to the details now. Qatar, Egypt and the United States announced that Hamas and Israel have reached a multi-phase deal that halts the conflict in Gaza and leads to the release of Israeli captives in the territory. Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani announced that negotiators had reached a deal on Wednesday for a ceasefire in the Gaza conflict. Addressing a press conference, the Qatari Prime Minister said both Israel and Hamas agreed to exchange prisoners and hostages. Qatar also announced an agreement for the delivery of humanitarian aid to Palestinians in the Gaza Strip.
Qatar, the Arab Republic of Egypt, and the United States are happy to announce the success of joint mediation efforts in order to reach a deal between the parties in conflict in the Gaza territory, to exchange prisoners and hostages, and a return to a prolonged truce that achieves a permanent ceasefire between the two sides. The implementation of the agreement will begin on Sunday, January 19th.
The Qatari Prime Minister further said the deal will begin with a 42-day period that would see the release of 33 Israeli captives and a number of Palestinian prisoners.
The first phase of the agreement, which will last for 42 days, will witness a ceasefire and the withdrawal of Israeli forces to the east and away from the populated areas to be stationed on the border in all areas of the Gaza Strip. The exchange of prisoners and hostages according to a specific mechanism, the exchange of the remains of the deceased, and the return of the displaced to their places of residence.
While confirming the Gaza ceasefire and hostage deal, U.S. President Joe Biden said the deal will end the fighting in Gaza and surge humanitarian aid to Palestinian civilians. Biden termed it one of the toughest negotiations of his life.
I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas. For more than 15 months of conflict, well, we've had many difficult days since Hamas began its terrible war. We've encountered roadblocks and setbacks. We've not given up. And now, after more than 400 days of struggle, a day of success has arrived. Fighting in Gaza will stop, and soon the hostages will return home to their families.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has welcomed the deal. In a social media post, Trump said his national security team will continue to work closely with Israel and other allies to make sure Gaza never again becomes a terrorist safe haven. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu thanked U.S. President Biden and U.S. President-elect Donald Trump for securing the Gaza truce and hostage release deal. In a phone call, Netanyahu thanked U.S. President-elect Donald Trump for securing a hostages deal and putting an end to the suffering of dozens of hostages and their families. Netanyahu agreed to meet Trump soon in Washington. The Israeli Prime Minister also thanked U.S. President Joe Biden for his help in the hostages deal in a phone call. An Israeli President Isaac Herzog, in a televised address on Wednesday, said that Gaza deal was the right move to bring all the captives home. Herzog said the deal will bring difficult, agonizing and extremely moving moments. He also thanked U.S. President Biden and the President-elect Trump for their efforts. And now let's go live across to Rashtrapati Bhavan, where Singaporean President is being accorded ceremonial reception. बोलना है क्या? पूछो, कुछ बोलना है मुझे? Singaporean President Tharman Shanmugaratnam arrived in New Delhi on Tuesday evening.
राष्ट्रपति भवन से सीधी तस्वीरें सिंगापुर के राष्ट्रपति थर्मन षणमुगरत्नम, जो कि राष्ट्रपति।
It is his first official trip as president. The visit coincides with the celebration of 60 years of diplomatic relations between the two countries. Upon his arrival yesterday, Tharman was received at the airport by the Minister of State for Commerce and Industry, and his 5-day visit scheduled from January 14th to January 18th includes meetings with President Draupadi Murmu, who will also host a banquet in his honour. Tharman will also hold discussions with Prime Minister Narendra Modi following a ceremonial welcome which is happening right now. Also, Tharman is accompanied by a high-level delegation comprising ministers, members of parliament and senior officials, and is also set to meet the External Affairs Minister and other Indian dignitaries. Tharman met the External Affairs Minister yesterday, and he will also visit Odisha on January 17th and 18th. President Tharman's visit is not only a celebration of 6 decades of ties, but also an opportunity to strengthen collaboration in key sectors, including trade, technology, defense, and skill development. President Tharman being accorded the ceremonial welcome there and now meeting the President. A noteworthy aspect of this visit of President Tharman's is also the focus on Odisha, a state in eastern India that has become a strategic area of interest for Singapore. Up on your screens, President Tharman was meeting all the dignitaries right now. Also, discussions are expected today to focus on the evolving nature of India-Singapore comprehensive strategic partnerships, which was upgraded during Prime Minister's visit to Singapore in September 2024. Also, President Murmu today will host a state banquet for the President, further solidifying the growing diplomatic relationship between the two countries, India and Singapore. President Murmu, up on your screens, meeting the dignitaries from Singapore. And in addition to political talks which are planned, the Singaporean president will also confer the Honorary Citizen Award on Tarun Das, former Director General of the Confederation of Indian Industry, in recognition of his contribution to the enhancement of India-Singapore relations.
Said that the eastern states of the country as countries growth is good. How do you think Singapore can contribute to that today?
Good question. Shall we take one more question at the same time?
I applaud you from CNE. So this year marks 60 years of diplomatic relations between Singapore and India. Can you share a bit more about the significance of this area?
Well, it's an important moment. We will never forget that India was one of the first few countries to recognize Singapore's independence in 1965. And since then, our relationship has grown by bounds. It's a natural partnership between a small country, Singapore, and a very large country, India. But we found ways to cooperate in ways that are our mutual interests in a whole range of areas. Our business relationships are thriving. In fact, Singapore is the largest investor in India for many years now. Our defense relationship is strong. Our relationship in skilling has been very active in recent years, and it continues to grow. But we are now on a new trajectory with India, with the upgrade of our relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership, which was announced during Prime Minister Modi's last visit to Singapore in September last year. We are exploring new initiatives, going beyond the existing very active relationship that we have. We are working on cooperating in advanced manufacturing and semiconductors, helping to build up the semiconductor ecosystem in India. We're working on new generation and net zero industrial parks. And we're working on the skilling for the new industries that are involved as we embark on these new paths. We are also exploring other initiatives in the digital space and in sustainability. In the digital space, for instance, we are exploring the possibility of a data corridor between Gift City and Singapore, so that our financial institutions can exchange data on a safe and trusted basis. Sustainability is a major priority for both India and Singapore, and there too, we are working actively to look at whether a corridor for renewable energy between India and Singapore can be achieved. I'm optimistic for our relations with India. I'm optimistic because our leaders see eye to eye. We are natural partners, as I mentioned, and we both share. Singapore is invested in India's ambition to be a developed country, Dixit Bharat, by 24/7. The eastern states are a priority for the Indian government. In fact, in my last visit to India before I was president, I went to Assam at Prime Minister Modi's suggestion. And we are doing some things in Assam. In particular, we had a major involvement in skilling, and we are looking at other possibilities. This time, as part of the state visit, I'm going to Odisha, which has special significance amongst the eastern states. I know that India has high ambition for Odisha, and indeed it has great promise. The people are hungry, they've got natural advantages in their natural resources, and Singapore will look at opportunities from logistics and connectivity to petrochemicals and other areas. Of course, not to forget skilling, where we already have been deeply involved in the World Skills Center and are now embarked on expanding that relationship. So there will be many areas to explore, including even areas like MRO, maintenance, repair and overhaul operations for the aerospace sector, which shows very significant opportunity in India, including in Odisha. So I go with a business delegation with our eyes open to learn as much as we can and see where there can be fruitful opportunities for collaboration. Thank you. Thank you very much.
President Tharman accorded a ceremonial reception at the Rashtrapati Bhavan there, and he said that he was very optimistic about the relations between India and Singapore. President Sharman also will engage with Indian thought leaders this time, and with discussions centered on future collaborations, he said, in high-tech industries, semiconductors, artificial intelligence and sustainability and fintech. The visit is poised to catalyze deeper economic integration between Singapore and India. President Tharman categorically said that he was very, very optimistic about the relations growing between both the countries. President Tharman there for a photograph right now with President Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The visit also will likely include the signing of multiple MOUs focusing on areas such as semiconductor ecosystem, where both countries are keen to collaborate on research, design and manufacturing. President Tharman also mentioned about his Odisha visit, which he said he was looking forward to. And one of the key highlights of the Odisha leg of his visit will be his tour of the Bharat Biotech Vaccine Manufacturing Facility and the World Skills Center, supported by Singapore's Institute of Technical Education Services. Also, economic ties are set to take the center stage during his visit, with both sides looking to expand cooperation. In fact, Singapore and India are also discussing ways to expand air travel services, which will again be boosted by the visit. Defense and security cooperation will also feature prominently in the discussions. And families and friends of Israeli hostages hugged and lit torches in a demonstration in Tel Aviv after negotiators reached a multi-phase Gaza deal. Several videos surfaced on social media showing people gathering in groups, hugging and taking photos with their mobile phones to mark the announcement. They say the nightmare of more than a year is finally coming to an end. Crowds took to the streets of Khan Yunis to celebrate the truce deal. People cheered, danced and blew horns to mark the 6-week initial ceasefire deal, which includes the gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. And an historic moment for India. Indian Space Research Organisation on Thursday successfully performed the docking of satellites as part of the Space Docking Experiment, or SPADEX. Earlier on 12th of January, ISRO brought the two spacecraft to 3 meters and then moved them back to safe distance in its trial attempt to dock the satellites. ISRO had successfully launched the Space Docking Experiment SPADEX mission on December 30th, 2024. Well, the PSLV C-60 rocket carrying two small satellites, SDX-01 Chaser and SDX-02 Target, along with 24 payloads, had lifted off from the first launch pad of the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, and about 15 minutes after liftoff, the two small spacecraft weighing about 220 kgs each were launched into a 475-kilometer circular orbit as intended. Well, India became the 4th country to achieve successful space docking. Well, we may tell you again, in a historic moment for India, Indian Space Research Organisation on Thursday successfully performed the docking of satellites as part of the Space Docking Experiment, or SPADEX. And earlier on January 12th, ISRO brought the two spacecraft to 3 meters and then moved them back to the safe distance in a trial attempt to dock the satellites. And now Anbarasan joins us for more on this. Well, Anbarasan, successful docking of satellites, which was much awaited. Tell us more on that.
Lipakshi, very happy news has came from ISRO. Has announced that it successfully completed this docking of a SpaceX mission, and as it at 10:30 p.m. right at night. And the first launch was scheduled on January 7th and also 12th. And few days before, we have seen that two SpaceX satellites came nearly just 3 meters away. And after again, the ISRO has taken back for the data analysis, and they said that as announcement that they will be taking various analysis of this launch. And after that, they will be taking further. And today morning, nearly around early morning, 8 or they didn't give an exact time when it's docked successfully. As ISRO has tweeted 10 minutes before, it said that successfully both satellites are docked. And it will be a very helpful for the Indian Space Research Organization. And also, it's one of the 4th country after US, Russia, and China. This is the 4th country to successfully. That is one of the very proud moment for the Indian Space Research Organization and also for the country. And it will be a kind of way forward to that Indian Space International Center in our space. So it will be a boosting for that. And the ISRO chairman also tweeted and regarding that. So it's a continuous growth towards making a space center in International Solar Station near that. So it will be a very complex mission. As you mentioned in the report, I said that it's a nearly 400 kilogram of weight satellites. Both will be moving towards nearly in a nearly 29,000 speed of velocity. So it's a very complex mission because making a same speed both and also slowing another spacecraft reaching towards a very nearby. If any motion or also any speed up on that, it will be a crash together or it will be taking some time to reach. So it will be fuel efficiency will be decreased. So it will be a very complex mission for ISRO. One of that because we have launched Moon, Chandrayaan or various other mission, but this SpaceX mission is one of the kind that is happening on India Earth orbit. So it will be a very important one. So we can sure that it will be launching towards or marching towards Indian Space Center to build around the space. So it will be boosting, and we can expect more develop on this. And after that, we will be sending various docking missions. So completing that the process of Antrik mission on space, much.
Absolutely, Anbar. It's an historic moment for India there in the space sector as India becomes the 4th country to achieve successful space docking. And India, with this, has joined an elite group of nations by successfully completing a space docking mission with its SpaceX. What about the technological capabilities? How beautifully are we growing on that?
This SpaceX mission mostly focusing on that making a Bharati Antarctic station. So it kind of a way forward to that. So and this is our nearly a 449 kilogram of spacecraft both, and these both will be circulating in Earth orbit nearly 29,000 kilometer per hour velocity. So you can assume that it will be a very moving fast. So doing that speed and making a docking on that level is a very important and also a very complex mission. In that way, we need to kind of say that ISRO has done very tremendously this one. And particularly, this will be a continuous forward because we have done various PSLV, DSLV launches, and we are also going to launch in very soon on Jan 25. So kind of a continuous go towards that. And the ISRO is it's a very long process of making a solar space station in the Antarctic station. And so it's a kind of a very small step towards that. Kind of continuously growing on that, it will be very big helpful for the making, because we are a very few countries that made these kind of developments. So it's kind of one of the developments for the humankind level also. So making a 4th country, it's one of the huge success. And also these 2 satellites, SpaceX is kind of a docking. I already said that a very complex mission because the Somnath, the ISRO chairman, also said that it is not a very easy task to do it, because a lot of person has asked that why it delayed every time and it not shown on perfectly on particular times when it's going to launch, when it's going to dock. So it is kind of a level that I said that it's taking some process and analysis after that only, because it's very precision, very precisely need to be docked. If anything goes wrong, it will be taking another launch and take more. So it's kind of a very well planned ISRO is done, and we need to thank for that, and also very proudly say that ISRO is launched and completed that this SpaceX mission launch.
All right, absolutely proud moment there. And Marison, you just stay with us. Meanwhile, we tell our viewers that Union Minister of State, Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, has congratulated ISRO on the success. He posted on X, "Congrats, ISRO, finally made it. SpaceX has accomplished the unbelievable docking complete." And it is all indigenous Bharatiya docking system. This paves the way for smooth conduct of ambitious future missions, including the Bharatiya Antariksh Station, Chandrayaan-4 and Gaganyaan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's continuous patronage keeps the spirits soaring here at Bengaluru. Union Minister of State, Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Prasad, has congratulated Dr. Jitendra Singh has congratulated ISRO on the success. He posted on X, "Congrats, ISRO, finally made it. SpaceX has accomplished the unbelievable docking complete, and it is all indigenous Bharatiya docking system. This paves the way for smooth conduct of ambitious future missions, including the Bharatiya Antariksh Station, Chandrayaan-4 and Gaganyaan." Prime Minister Narendra Modi's continuous patronage keeps the spirits soaring here at Bengaluru. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi also tweeted, and I quote, "Congratulations to our scientists at ISRO and the entire space fraternity for the successful demonstration of space docking of satellites. It is a significant stepping stone for India's ambitious space missions in the years to come," unquote. Well, a great day for India, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated the nation, and he quoted on X, and I quote, "Congratulations to our scientists at ISRO and the entire space fraternity for the successful demonstration of space docking of satellites. It is a significant stepping stone for India's ambitious space missions in the years to come." And we are joined by Anbarasan again. Anbarasan, the docking process, of course, was executed with precision, beginning with the spacecraft's maneuver from a 15-meter hold point to a 3-meter docking position. And the success of this mission paves the way for more ambitious missions. Could you tell us more about the docking process and what all is being planned for the future there?
When we launched that, it's expected to reach nearly 250 meter near, and the first on January 7th, and January 12th, we assume it went nearly 3 meter and taken back, and after that, it's a 7-kilometer distance. So it's a kind of that both satellites. It's a kind of a tractor, and it named at that. So it will be reaching, one satellite will be tracking another. So once it both came near, it will be docked. So that is what it says. But various attempts are made, and nearly 3 meters. You just assume in space that how near that, and also again it taken back, and the data analysis, and because the ISRO side, they said that it will be taking further for more analysis, because suddenly if anything happens, so we are just taking that. So today morning they did very successfully, just as they planned it. This continues, the two satellites, as I mentioned earlier, it's nearly a 400 kilogram weight of satellite, so heavy weight on both sides. One will be the tracker satellite will be going towards following the aim, and the aim is the another satellite. Once it both connected very nearly, then it will be docked successfully. That is what the explanation has given by ISRO, and both continuously tracking, because the December 30th launch until now, they are continuously doing the tracking, and it's not other just systems, other launches like that, because it need a continuous monitoring, and also going towards various data, and after only if they found everything is correct and a particular time and all, they docked successfully. So that is exact time today the morning they docked successfully. And as we mentioned, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has continuously, as Chandrayaan-2 happened, Prime Minister mentioned that it's continuously giving a boost towards ISRO's various launches, and we have successfully launched the Chandrayaan-3 and various boosting on Aditya and Mangalyaan. So we have various missions, particularly focusing on ISRO's successful career, and this docking of SpaceX mission is also one of that. So we can assume that kind of boosting towards, and also the ISRO launches are more and more on precision, and also commercializing various parts. So we are not only launching our own satellites and various things, we are also taking other various countries. So it's a kind of globally, we are also making various points, and connecting various, we have launched various African nations and also Southeast Asian nations. So we are taking their satellites and also launching. So it's a kind of globally and making various imprints, and also for ISRO, it's a kind of a very important one.
All right, Anbarasan, indeed a historic day for India. Thank you so much. And going back to the Prime Minister's tweet on the historic launch today. Congratulations, he said. Congratulations to our scientists at ISRO and the entire space fraternity for the successful demonstration of space docking of satellites. It is a significant stepping stone for India's ambitious space missions in the years to come, unquote. And now going back to the top story we're tracking here, India has also welcomed the announcement of the agreement for the release of hostages and a ceasefire in Gaza. In a statement, External Affairs Ministry said, and I quote, "We hope this will lead to a safe and sustained supply of humanitarian assistance to the people of Gaza. We have consistently called for release of all hostages, ceasefire and return to a path of dialogue and diplomacy," unquote. And now we have Amrit Pal joining us for more on this on the phone line. Well, Amrit, the world leaders have been reacting to the historic ceasefire since the news came. Now India's MEA also gives its reaction. Tell us more on that.
That's right. India has welcomed the release of the hostages and the ceasefire deal. India has said that it hopes that this will lead to a safe and sustained supply of humanitarian assistance to the people of Gaza, because India has been consistently sending humanitarian assistance to the people of Gaza, even as Gaza was pounded by Israeli forces and the war was on there. India has also, consistently called for the release of the hostages, the ceasefire, and return to the path of dialogue and diplomacy in both the conflicts. That's the Ukraine-Russia conflict and this conflict in West Asia. India has been advocating dialogue and diplomacy. So India understandably expresses welcomes this ceasefire deal and the early return of the hostages, because a part of the deal clearly says that it will surge the aid supplies into Gaza, which are very badly needed. If you remember, in October last year, a few months back, India had sent about 30 tons of humanitarian assistance to the people of Gaza, which included, medical supplies, surgical equipment, anti-cancer drugs, water purifying tablets, sleeping tents, etc. Earlier in the year also, and just after the conflict started, India had, sent similar supplies, 6.5 tons of medical supplies to them and 32 tons of assistance, humanitarian assistance. Then in July last year, India released the first installment of the $2.5 million of worth assistance to the UN RWA, or the UN Agency for Relief and Works, which is a multilateral agency which works there under the banner of the United Nations. So India has been consistently calling on both sides to see reason and halt the conflict, and now that this deal has been reached, or the announcement of the deal has been made, India understandably welcomes that. Lipakshi?
Right, Amrit. Of course, India has been a strong advocate of dialogue and diplomacy and of humanitarian assistance to the people of Gaza. How do you see this moving forward now?
How do we see the deal moving forward?
Yes.
Lipakshi? Okay. Oh, the deal is fraught with a lot of challenges. The first step is a good step, Lipakshi, that both sides, after 15 months of fighting and the kind of destruction that we saw in Gaza and the horrific October 7th attacks that took place, it's been, sheer uninterrupted madness, which has caused a loss of lives of more than 46,000 Palestinians living in Gaza. And then, of course, there is this whole question of the hostages, 100+ hostages who have been who've been hostage with the Hamas for over a period of 1.5 years now, or close to 1.5 years now. or 15 months. So one can well understand their ordeal. Many of them, some of them have died, and there are horrific accounts of the kind of treatment meted out to them. So India has been consistently saying, please stop this, return the hostages, return to the table, stop pounding, look at the humanitarian situation there. While terrorism remains a concern, but civilian lives need to be accounted for, and the kind of destruction that is being caused, it's going to take a very, very, very long time to reconstruct and get people's life back in order. So now that the deal has sort of been struck, there are challenges in terms of whether both sides stick to that. Will the hostages and the prisoners be exchanged? Because this is just phase one of the deal. Will it go to phase two? Israel in the past has one knows that they've put it in a graded manner, but both sides can easily accuse each other of sabotaging the deal. So,
right.
But it's a good start, and one hopes that in a phased manner and with the coming in of the Trump administration, there is pressure from the Americans on both sides, especially on the Israeli side, to keep the promise of the deal,
yes,
despite the provocations from the other side, and see that some sort of semblance of normalcy returns to the Strip.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Amrit, for all those details. And we now tell you all about the Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal in our next report.
The Truce deal is a serious initiative which will be implemented in 3 stages. In the first phase of the Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal, lasting 6 weeks, there will be a complete ceasefire with the withdrawal of Israeli forces from the populated areas of Gaza. Besides, Hamas will release 33 hostages, including children, women, and Americans. Besides, Israel will also gradually allow Palestinian civilians to return to their neighborhood. Apart from this, it will also allow a surge of humanitarian aid. Moving ahead, negotiations on implementing the second phase of the deal will begin by the 16th of the phase 1. This stage was expected to include the release of all the remaining hostages, a permanent ceasefire, and the complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from Philadelphia corridor, the border area between Egypt and the Palestinian enclave. While, should the conditions of the second stage be met, the deal would move towards the third stage. This stage is expected to address the return of all the remaining dead bodies and the start of Gaza's reconstruction supervised by Egypt, Qatar, and the United Nations. Bureau Report, DT India.
And time now for a short break. We'll be back in a while. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Pakshi Khurana, and moving on, Bollywood actor Saif Ali Khan was stabbed at least 6 times by an unidentified attacker who entered his Mumbai home in a burglary attempt on Thursday. After the attack, Saif was admitted to Lilavati Hospital, where he's undergoing surgery and was reportedly out of danger. According to CEO of Lilavati Hospital, said 2 of his injuries are deeper. One of the injuries is closer to his spine. And a senior police official confirmed that an FIR has been filed and multiple teams are investigating the case. The Mumbai Crime Branch is also conducting a parallel inquiry to ensure a thorough investigation. And for more on this, we have Shishir Sheller joining us from Mumbai. Well, Shishir, Saif Ali Khan stabbed 6 times in his home during the burglary attempt. Give us the details as to what happened and any news about the actor's health condition.
Well, absolutely, Dipakshi. The information we received from the Mumbai police is that an unknown person attacked Saif Ali Khan at his house in yesterday midnight. Well, the investigation is still on, and the police is trying to get those details at how the person entered Saif Ali Khan's house. What we got to know from the Saif Ali Khan team right now is that a person entered in Saif Ali Khan's house with the intention of robbery. Once Saif Ali Khan got to know about it, actually, they had a scuffle, and in that scuffle, Saif Ali Khan got injured, and he got 6 injuries, 2 out of which are quite deep wounds, and that's the reason he has been shifted to the nearest Lilavati hospital. Right now, the hospital is saying that they're actually being treated, Saif Ali Khan, as far as these 2 deep wounds are concerned. One is around his neck, and one near the spinal cord, and these 2 surgery the hospital is carrying out, the doctors are carrying out right now. That's what the hospital version we got to know. Now, the main questions here that how does the robber or the unknown person entered Saif Ali Khan's house? That's what the police investigating right now, because at multiple locations we have seen that the CCTV camera has been installed at the Saif Ali Khan's residence.
Right.
So probably the police will actually go through all the CCTV cameras and will also investigate the other people, those who were actually were at the Saif Ali Khan's house during this incident. So that's probably police will try to investigate all these issues also. What we got to know that some of the family members of Saif Ali Khan were also at the house when the incident happened. And immediately after this incident, the family members rushed to the hospitals and they have admitted Saif Ali Khan. Currently, the news is that Saif Ali Khan is actually, the treatment is going on and he's out of danger. But still, the doctors taking precaution, and they said that 2 major surgeries are going on.
All right, Shishir, as you mentioned also, have you got any clue as of now as to how the breach occurred? Any information as of now given?
Well, information we have, as far as the Mumbai police are concerned, we have got the information regarding it. The Mumbai police are saying that they're actually getting all those details during this investigation. The team of the Mumbai police already reached Saif Ali Khan's house, and they are now investigating all the details here, how the person reached to the building here, how he actually managed to get into the Saif Ali Khan's house. So these are the details the police will try to get from the source here, and that's the reason team right now investigating this entire incident. As I told you, that few question raises here that first of all, despite of the heavy security, how Saif Ali, how the unidentified person managed to enter Saif Ali Khan house, that's a major question that probably police is investigating right now.
All right, Shishir, thank you so much for all those details. And now all the news from the Maha Kumbh, the largest religious congregation in the world. Well, Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj is witnessing lakhs of devotees taking holy dip in Triveni Sangam, the confluence of holy rivers Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. On Wednesday, lakhs of devotees braving biting cold conditions and dense fog took holy dip, despite it was not a major bathing day. Devotees and religious sects from all across the country and abroad gathered in large numbers to attend the Maha Kumbh Mela. Well, for the first time, pilgrims visiting the Triveni Sangam in Prayagraj for the Maha Kumbh will have a unique opportunity to circumambulate all 12 Jyotirlings of Lord Shiva. This will be possible thanks to the newly built Shivalaya Park. Watch this special report by our correspondent Siddharth Bharatwaj.
In Maha Kumbh 2025, large influx of tourists, devotees, pilgrims are coming on the holy land of Prayagraj. I am here at Arel Ghat, and this is a very special place. This is called Shivalaya Park. Now, what is unique about Shivalaya Park is the very fact that you have 12 Jyotirling in this place, and people who are coming here can get darshan of all the 12 Jyotirling at one place. And also, it's ways to wonder. Everything here at this park has been built by 400 tons of recycled iron junk.
I'm here from Canada, and my first visit, and just walking into the park, I'm in awe of all the different setups over here.
This unique Shivalaya park has built on 11 acres of land in Arail in Prayagraj at a cost of rupees 14 crore. Around 22 artists and 500 workers were engaged in building of this park. Set up on the theme of Waste to Wonder, this park is a symbol of art and cleanliness. What's unique at Shivalaya Park is that it unfolds the entire story of Samudra Manthan, or churning of the ocean. Upon entering the park, one can witness a live scene of Samudra Manthan, where Nag Vasuki is seen churning the ocean with a rope between demons and God. The creations of Nandi and Trishul further enhances the grandeur of this place.
The whole place completes the journey of being here at Kumbh.
Around 450 to 500 million people are expected to come in this mega festival, which is considered as the largest religious gathering on earth. And this is a place which certainly cannot be missed. With camera person Rakesh Kumar, this is Siddharth Bharadwaj reporting for DD India in Prayagraj.
Well, a handwritten letter penned by late Apple founder Steve Jobs has been auctioned by Bonhams for about $500,000. Written by Steve Jobs in 1974, the letter stated his wish to go to India for Kumbh Mela. He addressed the letter to his childhood mate Tim Brown just prior to his 19th birthday. The letter revealed deep spiritual searching within him. He wrote, and I quote, "I am now living on a farm in the mountains between Los Gatos and Santa Cruz. I wish to go to India for the Kumbh Mela, which starts in April. I'll be leaving sometime in March, not really certain yet," unquote. However, he could not manage to come to attend Kumbh Mela, but the letter surfaced on social media amidst the time when Steve Jobs' wife, Lauren Powell Jobs, is in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj for the Maha Kumbh Mela 2025. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. Well, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.